And that's why the government is now in a hurry. They want to make sure that we need to get as many people above the poverty line as possible, get inclusion to as many people as possible, and get as many people as possible into the economic mainstream. Because India over the next 10, 20 years has to grow at least 7-8% if we want this segment of the population to have better.
Okay.
If you see India, 1991 economic reforms has been started. Since 1991, there were coalition governments. Earlier, there was single party domination, monopoly. Even then, growth was only 2%, 3%. All over the world, people used to say Hindu growth rate. Up to 2004, reforms were carried very effectively. From 2004, there is a setback again. Now, first time people give mandate for Narendra Modi, absolute majority, clear majority. Now, this government is also planning very clearly how to grow at a faster pace. That's why he has given so many programs. Swachh Bharat, Digital India, Make in India, even Jan Dhan. These are all the various programs he has given. To follow it up, he is working very hard. One example I'm giving you, you want to double the agriculture income, farmers' income within 3-4 years' time. You wanted to eradicate poverty. You want to give houses for everybody by 2022. And also, he has given a short-term vision, that is for 3 years. And also for 7 years, action plan he has given. For 15 to 16 years, he has given a vision. To follow this vision, he kept very, very clear targets. First time in India, GST bill has been passed. Now we are going to implement next month, that is July 1st. And also demonetization has taken place. Now digital currency we are going. We are going to control total corruption. We wanted to put growth on fast track. All these things are happening. So naturally, leader will have an urge to do better. We are all elected. And also we are having a commitment. So with this commitment, central government is working. In that aspect, we are also working in that direction. So there is an inherent strength in India. That is, one has to understand that. That inherent strength has to be carried by a leader. Sometimes there is a failure of leader. There is a strength, but there is no progress. If there is a strong leader, leader can deliver. If you see anywhere, either a company, either a country, or a family, if there is a strong leader, capable leader, then that will be prosperous. I am very happy Dheeraj is a startup company. How many years? 2 years, 3 years?
We've been selling for 5 years.
5 years.
7.5-year-old company.
7 years company. Now what is the market cap?
We're still between $2.5–3 billion.
$3 billion.
Small company, still small compared to.
Small company want to compete Cisco now. That is ambition. You know, desire, that is the desire of Indians. That is the desire which is helping us.
So, John, I know Cisco started doing business in India, I believe, 8 years ago. You hear Google, Microsoft, Facebook all talk about it as a growth market. Amazon, in Amazon's latest earnings release, it was the only country that Jeff Bezos mentioned. In fact, the only quote that he had in the press release was about India. So I want to ask broadly, what's the big opportunity that they all see? And then to get more to the point of sort of India trying to do this equitably, how do these companies do that? How do they fit within the growth plan of India with sustainable and equitable growth?
So I think, Ari, it ties to the question you just asked the panel. What's the sense of urgency? If you invested in India in a big way 2.5 years ago, you're in very good shape today. We saw that at Dell, EMC, some of the other companies. If you're just now investing in India, you'll be in good shape 2 years from now, but not near as good as you would have been 2 years ago. If you wait another year or two, the market will come shut on you, not from anything other than just pure competitive opportunities. And so it's important to realize that every company, there's going to be a sense of urgency. What people in the Valley knows, if you miss that upturn and you founder for a couple of years, you almost never get a chance to do it again. That is true of countries as well. So I think there's an urgency and a fairness that is being brought. And I think it's like anything else. If companies go in and create a win-win environment, not just for profits, but also how do you give back? How do you do this truly in line with the goals of the country? It's inclusive of 1.3 billion. I think what we may underestimate is this is the model for the world. If this works, you can take the same model and go across every emerging, every developed country in the world, and then you really change things. If we miss this window, then it's a little bit late. But to your question, the companies who are just now investing in India are already on the border of being a little bit too late. And that's why I think the sense of urgency, same thing, the leadership has to deliver on the promises. If we miss that window, the citizens will lose confidence in us. It's like your own kids. How many of you have kids under 26 years of age? What is their attention span? 2 years is long. So we got to move fast.
Secretary, what do companies need to know? What do U.S. companies need to know as they start investing in India, even if maybe they are a little bit late? What are some of the primary pitfalls that companies that have failed have been, and what do they need to know now?
Yeah, before that, I want to also take a shot at your previous question.
Yeah.
See, I think today India is amongst the most promising growth markets anywhere in the world. And so naturally everybody wants to be there. Let's look at the figures. Between 2005 and 2015, we were adding 100 million customers every year on the mobile. Between 2015 and 2020, we expect that we'll be adding 50 million customers on the internet every year. And if you look at the growth of Reliance Jio, they went in 4 months from 0 to 100 million, which is the fastest, acquisition of customers, even faster than WhatsApp, because I think that's the next best example. So clearly, because India is such an underserved market, and because of the huge infrastructure deficit that you've had for many years, now the opportunity is opening up, and that's why everyone wants to be there. Now, what should companies coming in look for? What kinds of pitfalls? I don't think India is an easy market. Nobody's going to go out there and say that India is an easy market. It's a tough, challenging market, but I think it can be rewarding. Now, what are the key challenges? I think the usual challenges are all there. It's diverse, regulatory regimes have varied. The customer is very, very cost conscious, more cost conscious than many other